I don't know if you were able to hear us. For those on the hear us. This is a challenge, so I need to be sure we are able to hear us. Be a remote for this. This is a challenge, so I need to be sure we are able to hear us. It should be okay. Can anyone on the Zoom call hear us?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay. Which part of what we spoke did you hear? From the beginning or in between or everything?
No, we can only hear you now. Like couldn't hear the in between.
Start over. That's okay. Thank you. Then it gives me second attempt to start everything over. Thank you for joining. I think there was a request for the Zoom link. So Steffi or Sonia, if you're on the call, if you can post the Zoom link to some of the parents here, that will be really helpful so that they can also send it to their friends and family, but we'll also send the YouTube link later. So we are able to cast it on YouTube live for now. We'll use that as the link. So I'm very excited to introduce some of the folks on the phone here. So if you are able to switch on the video, please do. It'll be helpful for us to see, the authors as well. And so today is an exciting day. So we have published, if I were to exaggerate, we have published more than 100, 150 books, even more than that. So I keep, if you come to the storage, we have about more than 150 books that we have published, but we have never published them in our brand in terms of, we have a brand of Parinama Publishers. We have never released them for sale. So we do have a chess book that we released on sale, but normally we don't release our books for sale. We have, this is our very first attempt to take our books and convert them to a commercial book that we can then send it to the society. The idea came because we have two brand ambassadors. We have a brand ambassador, Catherine, or Kat, she is on the call. She has been working on our math program. So if you go to our YouTube channel, so today marks the time when we have more than 100 subscribers. I know people have 1 million subscribers. They get excited about 5 million. We are very small, so we definitely will get there one day. But we have to start somewhere. So we're really excited to have even 100 subscribers. So getting from where we started, the way our program brand ambassadors have been working is every week they have been posting 2 videos every single week. So we have done that for 1 year. It takes Google 1 year to even notice that we exist. So, but we have cadence, we have very strict timelines, and we have a good way of producing content. So we work very ahead, and every single week we produce 2 blogs and 2 videos. And this is something that we send it back into the society. Then we thought, how can we package that in a different way? Because there is different mediums. We have always been looking at podcast as one of the mediums. We have been looking at YouTube. We have been looking at books. We have been looking at every single way that we can send the information out. So this is one way that we are able to help the society. So the key idea was, how do we utilize the volunteer hours, and making sure that they are not simply taking from the society, they give back something to the society. We also were looking at something bigger than just Parinamas. We just don't want the kids to just work on our tasks. Is there anything that we can go beyond our tasks that can be replicated? For example, you have been working on chess. What can we do for the society that can be helpful? Can you write a book about chess? Can you do a YouTube about chess? Can you do a podcast about chess? Can you do some events in the society about chess? So what is the whole idea behind giving back? So I always tell people that we have been good consumers, but we have to become good producers. We have to start producing and giving back to the society. And now with the launch of all of the new mediums that we have, we are now able to deliver all the content in different ways. There are no more gatekeepers. We don't have to go to Penguin publishers to ask if they can publish our book. We have our own publishing company. Just 5 clicks and you can publish one in Kindle. So now there are no more gatekeepers. So which means that we can experiment. I always tell people, based on some of the people that I follow, Paul Graham is one of the guys I follow. He says, you should be proud of showing your ugly baby, which means that you should not be afraid to take your ugly baby to the world. This may not be the perfect book, but this is one attempt, right? And then the key idea is not to stop there. Key idea to iterate and keep launching. So when we stop is when we should be afraid about it. So our first few videos that you go on YouTube, they were definitely not up to the quality that you would expect. But that doesn't mean we stop producing. We keep going after a year. You can see some of the videos are very professionals, and we are able to get a lot more views. People are able to comment. They're able to understand what we are launching. So today, what we really want to talk about is, the fact that we have a book. We will give time for the authors to talk about what they wrote. We'll also kind of have some questions for them on how they went through this journey and where these contents came from. It didn't come on a single day. This is a work of 1.5 years of work that we have done in different ways. So we want to talk about those and also understand how you guys can also start working on some of these projects. So that is the idea there. So what you missed on the phone is we had or on online, we have 4 of our key strategic partners. Choices Fruit folks are here. They are here to support us. They will be part of the launch. They will be launching the book of one of the format. We have 3 formats to release, so we'll definitely have one format that will be released through Choices Fruit. We also have Yal Living. They will be they are also our collaborators in our Kenai Drive, so we will continue to have our location, and we'll also be working in another location with a strategic partner there. Vastu Realty, they will be working with us also. They have been helping us in our Round Rock location. We'll also be going to our San Antonio location with them. And Lead India Foundation for Education, which is our main non-profit organization. But I don't want to call it the only organization, because we work with 17 organizations that we support. We support our favorite has always been Tamil Nadu Foundation, Shankarai Foundation, Healthy Kids, and Racing Minds. And we have donated to many of these charities. So this is not the only organization, but this is one that we are working very closely these days, because we are now able to offer more programs, because we are able to contribute and calculate the hours and audit them. That is more important here. With that, I'm going to ask Ananya to speak a few words, and then I will also try to cross-question her in some of these. So Ananya, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Ananya Vinay, and I'm one of the co-authors of the book Felix and Olive's Science Adventures, the book that's releasing today. Firstly, I'd like to thank Parinama Academy for giving us the opportunity to write this book. So, a little bit about myself. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm currently in 12th grade, studying in Lebanon Trail High School. Some of my hobbies are I like to swim and hike with my friends and family. I love being outdoors, and I also enjoy traveling. I also love to read and write. I've loved reading since I was a small kid. I enjoy fantasy a lot, like Harry Potter and Percy Jackson. I've been a fan of them for years. And I also enjoy reading science articles on astronomy and biology in my free time. And I also plan to pursue computer science in college. I've been volunteering with Parinama Academy for a few months now as a STEM content creator. Okay. As a STEM content creator, I have been creating PPTs and videos for K-2 students. And when we were given the book, could you go to the next slide? Right. So onto the book. When we were given the opportunity to write this book, we realized that to engage young students, we needed to find innovative and different ways to teach science concepts. We didn't want to go the dry textbook way where you just state the facts in a basic and boring manner. So we decided to create 2 characters, Felix the Fox and Olive the Owl. They're 2 young friends who live in the forest, and they encounter everyday items and scenarios. And through conversations and everyday scenarios, they explored science concepts like force, energy, electricity, and sound. For example, I wrote a soccer game in order to introduce Newton's laws. So I used the motion of the ball to explain how the laws of motion were affecting that particular ball. And in another short story, I used a roller coaster to explain the conversion of energy between kinetic and potential energy. Um, I'd like to thank I'd like to thank Shiva, Shobha, and Tanishka for giving support, and the entire Parinam Academy team, as well as Meghana for being a joy to work with during the writing of the book. Thank you.
Thank you. I have some questions for you, Ananya. So you are in Dallas, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you talked about some of the hiking and all your extracurricular. Where do you hike there? Where do you guys go for a walk?
There's not many places, but there is one. There are a few parks around. We just go there. Sometimes there's this place called Louisville Lake, about a half an hour from here. So we go there. The sunset is it's very beautiful there. We
See,
usually go
you
like,
also go for. There are also you can rent a boat and stuff like that, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
We
I've
haven't
seen.
done that, but it's a very pretty place.
So you have talked about astronomy here. What exactly do you mean by astronomy?
Astronomy, well, I just like exploring the concepts. So like I like reading about dark matter sometimes, and
Okay.
how like dark matter, black holes, and what exactly the Big Bang is, like how like all those kind of stuff. And I also like sort of NASA stuff, the Webb telescope. I like to see how they like gather all the information. That's very interesting.
That's good. You mentioned that you had two examples, right? You had one about soccer game, another about roller coaster. Any other one that you remember when you were writing that excited you on how to explain the concepts?
Once there was this chapter where I talked about the innovators, like the great innovators of science, like the inventor of the light bulb and stuff. So I had Felix and Olive go tag along with like a field trip and like a museum, and the teacher explained the different explained the different innovators. That was fun. Another one, well, I really like the roller coaster one because that was a good example.
Got it. Yeah, I like the chapter that you talked about specifically the human because a lot of times people forget that when you talk about science or when you talk about these fields, even for math, they forget that there are a lot of humans involved. My favorite question that I ask kids is, who is the only human being who has got two Nobel Prize on Earth? Can anyone guess? There's only one human being that has got two Nobel Prize on Earth. Anybody on the Zoom call? Anyone else can guess? No Google, no chat GPT, but can anyone guess? It's not Einstein, it's Mary Curie. So Mary Curie is the only person on earth that actually got two Nobel Prize. And it's very fascinating because she was not a unidimensional woman. She worked on chemistry and she even got poisoned by radium, which is her own invention. The What I really feel frustrated is when you see the posters about science, you always see Newton's poster, Einstein's poster, but you don't see Mary Curie's poster. If they really talk about who is the greatest innovator, it should have been Mary Curie. You see Einstein with all this hair and a nice coat, and anything it's said by Einstein. I don't say that Einstein didn't do well. He definitely did a lot of things in science that even now people are not able to comprehend. But then that doesn't mean we remove the other people from the society. So I think that chapter that you talked about, that definitely did fascinate, that you brought the human element, and also some of the examples that you talked about was really good. Really appreciate it. And what do you think you learned from this whole experience?
Well, one, I realized how hard it is to convey concepts because because I'm a student right now. I only learn the information, but now I got to see what the teachers have to do in order to like deliver the information and keep us engaged at the same time.
They
I think
always say, right, when a kid goes to a classroom, you have to write one test. When you put your pencil down, the teacher has to correct 25 papers. So if you feel frustrated about taking one test, don't forget the teacher has to do 25 times of the work and they come at 7 a.m., they prepare more. And definitely a lot of people who worked in Parinama have always told me the kids started appreciating the concept because they understand the pain the teacher has to go through. It's not as easy as it looks. Definitely that's a good perspective that you brought. I'm really glad that you were able to write this. And I know that you guys have burnt a lot of midnight oil. You worked hard, and I want to really thank you. We look forward to the second edition. This is for kinder to second. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so that means we have more grades to go. Some of the parents have also asked me, is this really for kinder to two? Because when they looked at the book, some of the concepts are even for adults, they definitely can take a look at it and read. It's not that we all remember everything that we read, but well written book. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to California. So Meghna, you can go next.
Hi. Okay, so my name is Meghna, and I'm another co-author of Felix and All of Science Adventures, and I live in Fremont, California, and I'm currently a sophomore in Mission San Jose High School. And I love singing, dancing, doing art, and playing basketball. I have had a growing interest for science, like ever since I was little, because I wanted to follow in a pre-med track. So I've always tried to look for things related to science for me to do because I find that really interesting. And I've been working with Paranama Academy for about 1.5 years as their science ambassador. And I'm also super friendly and I love dogs.
It's really nice. We'll go to the next one. We'll talk about your contribution to the book.
Yeah. So in the book, the majority I did was life science, environmental science, earth science, and space science. So for life science and environmental science, the characters of Felix, the fox, and all of the owl, they take the kids on exciting adventures and they help them learn about new science concepts. And so they interact with other characters in the forest as well to make the whole experience engaging and enjoyable. So the life science section includes the human body, animals, and plants, while the environmental science section covers concepts of how animals and plants interact with each other. And the next slide.
So why don't we start with the characters, right? So you have written the book, and you have primarily two characters, correct?
Yeah.
So what is unique about the two characters? So what does Felix represent versus what does the owl represent? Is one smarter than the other?
Oh, no, they both are like equally smart because they contribute to each story in different ways. But I think overall, they both really engage with each other because if one doesn't know something, other might like tell them about that concept, and they also find new stuff and discover everything together. So they both are learning as well as background knowledge that they've already had, so they can enlighten each other too.
I like to interrupt here because that's exactly how you and Ananya worked. Uh, that's why I asked because the time zone is always a tricky thing, right? You have somebody in California, somebody in Dallas. You guys have been really burning a lot of midnight oil and really helped each other, right? The idea comes from two different angles. So the way we started was Meghna has been our brand ambassador for science for a year and a half, as she pointed out. If you go to her YouTube video, her video has one of the highest number of views, about 2.1K views on just some what is science and earth science and stuff like that. I want you to watch her videos. They're really getting popular from the science perspective. And the way we started was she has written a lot of blogs as well. As I told you, every single concept that's on YouTube is also a blog. She took all the content and put it in here. The way we started with Ananya was totally different. Ananya was part of our STEM program. We have a STEM program that we are launching in the next year and a half. So if you go to our website, we have a science track. The curious question that we always had is, what is science for kindergartner? But more curious questions, what is engineering for kindergartner? But, so she started working on that. She created all the Google Classroom content. She has no idea about what Meghna was doing. So Meghna was working only on the YouTube and on the blogs, while so I would call it more of the front end because as the brand ambassador, you're always representing the brand outside. While Ananya was working everything on the back end, and she had no idea about these two things happening. So what we wanted to do was collaborate both of them, bring the two perspectives and really collide to see what can be brought together because they were coming up with totally two different things. So we wanted to see what are the topics that they can talk about together. And definitely they did a very good job. So this is the time also to touch upon a little bit about ChatGPT and Adobe. So why don't we talk about how, if anything, we were able to use artificial intelligence? Either of the authors can take, Meghna or Ananya.
Oh, okay. I think that we used Adobe a lot for the pictures that we included in the book because we have like little images on the side to kind of give a visual like representation of the story. And ChatGPT, we use like some artificial intelligence for like some of the stories and some of the content just to make it more interactive to see what ideas that they could give us and if we didn't have any specific idea. So I think it kind of played and tagged along with our original content and kind of made it better in a way.
Ananya, you want to add
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, I agree with what Meghna said. I used ChatGPT to like rephrase stuff, like rephrase ideas more particularly. If I was like stuck on something, how do I convert Newton's laws, which is kind of like a sixth grade thing, to something that you can explain to a first grader. So I use ChatGPT for like trying to figure out how do I write that. Yeah, I also agree with Meghna that we had our original content and we just rephrased it using ChatGPT, and Adobe gave us the pictures that, it helps visualize stuff.
Thank you. So I think, what I wanted to bring about to the surface was, we know there is ChatGPT, we know there is Adobe, we know all these things are coming in. So we wanted to see how the kids can use it. So one of the themes that you constantly hear from them is the concept of original idea, right? So these kids have the original idea. So let's be very clear that even though there are new tools that are launching, it's one thing to just go to ChatGPT and just say, write a science book for me, pick 6 topics and write it. That's cool. That's nothing wrong with that. But what we wanted to do was to really bring in our inputs. We already had content. Like I told you, we had content on one end on the Google Classrooms, content on the other end on the brand ambassador content. Then we challenged the kids to say how, the pinnacle of a writer is if you can write a book for a kindergartner or any book for kids, that means you have arrived, because it's very, very difficult to write a book. And like Ananya was pointing out, taking a sixth grader concept and trying to explain to a kindergartner is not going to be easy. And you have never done it. These are not professional teachers. They are just young kids who are 16 and 17 or 15. So they are also studying these things. So what we challenged is, how do you use these new tools that are coming in? The very first thing that Meghna pointed out is all of this Adobe images, right? When people see these, they are like, oh, I've seen it somewhere. Yeah, you should have seen it somewhere, because these are not stock images. These are definitely customized to our thing. But we know there are a lot of tools that are now emerging in the market that can create videos, that can create. So one of the things I'm going to challenge just in front of you is, how do you convert this entire book into a video using artificial intelligence? And then post-production, where we voice over and our content, our originality. So it's one thing to just take this content, feed it into a tool and say, just produce a video, versus what is the human interaction that we can do? What are all the places that we can actually give the input? That is a biggest challenge that I gave to these kids. I wouldn't say they took it easily in the beginning. They were struggling because it's not easy, right? It's very tempting to stray away from the content, but they are original content creators. That is the biggest difference here. So we wanted to, and interestingly, these days, when we are trying to publish the book, specifically in Amazon, it's also asking these questions. How much of the content are you using ChatGPT or any of the other tools? For images, what did you use? So Amazon now wants to know how much of the content is original, how much of the content is coming from outside, and then add that into our own flavor. That is exactly what the kids were doing. And they learned how to use the modern age tools, because we cannot stay away from these tools. These tools are here to stay, whether we like it or not. We have to coexist. How we coexist with laptops, with iPhones, we have to coexist with these tools. But also we see when we work with kids, when you start writing your college essays, it's very tempting to just go into ChatGPT and say, write an essay for me. Versus first you have to have your original content, use these tools. Nothing wrong with using the tool. Again, add your content back. And that was a big challenge that was there. And definitely these guys rocked. They definitely did a good job. If you read some of the pages and some of the images, they definitely were much better than where we started. Now, I want you to talk, Meghna, a little bit about some of the stories that you wrote, because I know that you didn't point out anything about roller coasters or any other specific examples. Can you point one or two examples of a story that you had written?
Sure. Like one example was when Felix and Olive met Dr. Ben and he talked to them about the human body systems. I thought that was like a really fun chapter because they were able to learn complex topics more like watered down, but it still gives a good amount of information. And I thought that that was a really good one, as well as like when they meet other animals in the forest and they see the different defense mechanisms like chameleons have because they change colors or like other defense mechanisms of other animals. So that's another big part in the story is meeting other animals and interacting with them and seeing how like the entire environment works together in certain ways.
Got it. So I always say, the most challenging thing in this case was it's a very, very dry topic. Like, having human body. You can just Google for human body, you will see liver and lung and heart. And then, writing an article about that, you can see some of the YouTube video that Meghna created. It talks about it to the fact, its core. And having that really modified into storytelling, having a start, a beginning, and an end with settings and characters, and really making it live, and that is really difficult. And I think that was a big achievement. Definitely, Meghna, that was really good. Anything else that you want to add? Because we will be having more author interviews going forward, chapter by chapter, that we will do in the next couple of weeks. Then all of you can still continue to listen to us. We will be taking each chapter, we'll be talking to the authors. It will always be great to hear the author's tone as opposed to your own tone, because you may imagine a character here, you may imagine a story here. I definitely will work with them, and we'll be presenting that. But for today, Meghna, anything else that you want to add?
I have another slide, the next one that talks about.
Okay.
So, in this section, so there's also Earth and space science. So in this section, the kids they learn about topics that are related to the Earth and its atmosphere, like for example, seasons and weather types. And they also learn about different phenomenons like rainbows or water cycles. And the solar system topic introduces them to like planets and also gives them fun facts and information about the solar system.
In your book, do you still have Pluto as a planet, or you took Pluto away?
I don't think we included that.
Why did Pluto get kicked out? Does anybody know?
It was a dwarf planet. I mean, they declared it a dwarf planet because
What
it's
is a dwarf planet? Till 2006 or whatever, we never had that term. What is this new term that they came up with? And does anyone know on the call or in person here? Why did Pluto get kicked out?
Because it was too small.
It was too small. Any other answers? I'm not going to take a science lesson here, but I'll tell you my perspective. What happened is there was a belt called the Kepler belt, which all of us have figured out there is a Kepler belt. There's a lot of planets out there. Unfortunately, what happened was there was a guy in 2004 from UC Berkeley. He found one planet. If you do not know your history, 1918 to 1920, that's the time frame they found a new planet from UC Berkeley, and that planet was called Pluto. So my grandfather was born in 1908. So when he was born, there was no Pluto. Okay, in 1918, after he was 10 or 12 years age, they found a new planet. They even had a contest to name the planet. They got it as Pluto. So everyone was excited. Now you got Pluto. He died in 1992. So my grandfather died thinking Pluto is a planet. 2006, it was very, very problematic because they first found one planet. So they wanted to figure out what to name this planet. It was X17 or something. Then they found one more planet. Then they found one more planet. They kept adding like 7 or 8 planets. So at one point, everyone got shocked. So they said, let's all sit down and understand what is a planet. And so they got the Astronomical Society. They had to define. Imagine nobody defined what was a planet. And then they came up with a new definition of dwarf planet. So we never knew what dwarf planet was. So if you're a planet, you are supposed to do 3 things. 1, you are supposed to go around sun. 2, you are supposed to go around sun only in an elliptical orbit. You cannot be an asteroid going back and forth. And there's a third one. Third one is you should clear your orbit. You should clear your orbit means you should kick everybody out, but you should also keep some friends, which means that if you are Earth, you kick everybody out, but you keep one moon. But the moon should surround the planet, but the planet should clear every single thing in that orbit. Pluto is not able to clear anybody in its belt, and so are the 10 or 15. So every day they found a new planet. When it fails rule number 3, that is when you don't become a planet. But that was your small lecture on why the planet Pluto is not there. But I love Pluto. Let's still keep it as a planet for now, just for fun. Anything else, Meghna, that you want to add? I didn't realize you had this slide.
I mean, I would obviously love to thank Pranama Academy and Shivanko for this amazing opportunity, and I also loved working with Ananya on the book. So thank you.
Thank you. And I saw that you only like dogs, so you don't like cats.
No, I don't.
Any cat lovers here? No. So I think dogs win. So you still are on the winning side. Thank you, Meghna. We will now switch to Canada. Our only Canadian in town in this call is Catherine. Catherine, is it hot or cold there?
It's pretty hot right now.
It's still Canada, so it's going to be cold very soon. So let me give you some time to talk about what you have, and then we'll ask you some questions.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Catherine Albina Anto, and I live in Canada. I am a grade 8 student at St. Andrew's Catholic Elementary School, and I'm thrilled and very excited to be speaking with everyone today. Math. Math has always been my favorite subject, and I have a deep passion for solving challenging puzzles like the Rubik's Cube and Sudoku. As of now, I can solve a 3x3 Rubik's Cube in under 30 seconds and a 4x4 Rubik's Cube in under 5 minutes. I've participated in various math contests from the age of 9, including the Canadian Math Kangaroo contest where I earned a bronze medal in my region, and the Math Olympiad contest where I secured first place in the 6th grade. I've also competed in the Jays contest, the Caribou Math contest, I-Level, and the Gauze Math competition where I placed 5th in my school. Beyond math, I love staying active by playing tennis with my family and volleyball with my friends at school and in the neighborhood. Now, I love going to school and entering in many, if not all, of the clubs. I have participated in a school spelling contest at the age of 9 and a Battle of Books contest at the age of 10. I have also recently entered my school's Lego robotics team where we got first in our board. Can you switch to the next slide? Thank you. For the past year and a half, I've had the privilege of working with Parinama Academy as a math brand ambassador. In this role, I've been able to share my love for math with others and help them build their confidence in the subject. I have recently hosted a Rubik's Cube camp for 2 different levels, and have taken a few Math Kangaroo classes analyzing question papers with kids. One of the most exciting projects I've been involved with is our YouTube channel, Parinama Academy 5331, and our blog page. This channel offers a wide range of videos tailored for students of all ages, from grades 1 to 2 all the way to grades 7 and 8. We focus on analyzing Math Kangaroo question papers, providing detailed explanations on how to solve each problem, and more importantly, the math methods used to solve them. Our videos cover essential mathematical concepts such as logical reasoning, combinatorics, combinatorial reasoning, number theory, and tessellation, among others. The goal is to ensure that students not only find the answers, but also understand the reasoning behind them, making complex concepts accessible and engaging. And our blog page covers our math questions in a written format for the kids who prefer reading more than watching. If you're preparing for the Math Kangaroo contest or simply looking to enhance your math skills, I highly recommend checking out our channel. It's a great resource for anyone eager to learn, practice, or master key math concepts. Last but not least, I'd like to thank Parinama Academy and Shiva Uncle for giving me this incredible opportunity and for their unwavering guidance over the past year. The staff at Parinama Academy have been exceptionally helpful and kind throughout my journey. If you have any questions about the Math Kangaroo contest, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always happy to lend a hand. Thank you for your time, and I hope our videos will be a valuable tool in your math journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. So we told everyone to say that sentence, okay, that we like to thank Parinama, we like to thank you, uncle. Otherwise, they will not be. This, I really appreciate you talking about this, Catherine. So I have some questions for you. So one of the things I'm first going to do is for the people who are here, I'm just going to show how the channel looks for the, in case they have not seen. I want to make sure that people know our channel. So I'm going to just pull up our YouTube video just for a second and show where people can find our channel. So if you just go to YouTube and just type Parinama Academy, and if you go to the channel here, there is a 7338 is, the one that she talked about is 5331, right? So 5331. So the reason you're all here is because we had now crossed 107 subscribers. That's something we are very excited about. We have a lot of popular videos. I talked about the one that's the water cycle, the math kangaroo. So the one that Catherine has been working on, we have been getting a lot of questions from kids who ask me at around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. what's the answer for this? And then I message it back saying, I don't know, it's all this, ask Catherine. But the reason is there are people who are looking for these papers, they are looking for the blogs, and they do look at the YouTube video, they do look at the blog, and it helps solve the problems. We get a lot of people who are, remember when you publish something on YouTube or when you have it on blogs, it's around the world. People can read anytime. And this helps them to really understand. So the efforts that these people have been doing specifically has been helping them. And the other one that she talked about is on our website, which is parinama.academy. We also have these blogs that was pointed out. So remember, if you are a person that likes to read and not likes to watch, you can always go here and you can see these blogs. And all these blogs that are there, they really talk about. So we are going after STEM or STEAM. So obviously we have the science ambassador, which is Meghna. We have the technology ambassador, who's Aishwarya. We have math ambassador, who's Catherine. And all of these content is right here. And you can see them all written. What we do is we take these same content and these kids actually produce the videos. And so we double dip. In fact, I want to triple dip. Like I said, we want to do a podcast as well, because just the audio is a different medium and people like to use that as well, because a lot of people don't like screens anymore. They want to stay away from screens. That's something that we are definitely excited about. That is something that I want to bring it up. But now back to you, Catherine. Tell me something that we don't know about you. We already know these things. Tell me something that's not in the slide. Do you like cats? Dogs?
I don't like dogs. I'm afraid of them. So my favorite animals would be like cats or turtles, sea turtles.
Got it. So you had created so many videos. Is there any one that is your favorite? Everybody has a favorite child. So I just want to check which is your favorite video.
I don't really have a favorite YouTube video.
The one that you created out of the content that you had created. Not anything specific.
I do like, compared to the videos that I've done at the start, I do like the videos that I've put on recently because I feel like they're like I've explained it more and it just like it looks neater and everything.
Just for the folks here, the Rubik's Cube camps that she talked about, they sold out very fast. We had no more slots left. So that's how famous she had become in terms of teaching. Catherine is a very good teacher. She definitely articulates very well. And kids like her. She corrects the homework in the night. She helps them with all of the stuff. So she takes personal attention. At this age, in 8th grade, for her to take care of the kids, and if the kids are asking questions, really sending them back video answers, because some people are visual. I really like the way she explains. So really thank you for that. And I do know that you have been good at puzzles, also with tennis and volleyball. Appreciate all of your help on that. And definitely we look forward to working with you more. And this is really a very good start. Thank you again for all your help.
Thank you. I also do like public speaking competitions. I've done them for the past year, and I've entered the Optimist contest where we talk about optimism and a bunch of other public speaking contests. The first one of the first ones I did would be about sea turtles.
That's interesting. So, what is optimism? I've never heard about. What is the view that they had in the public speaking that you spoke about? Can you talk about it for a line, one or two lines?
Optimism isn't just about being happy, but it's more about making others happy. So sometimes you just have to, it's not about just you being happy, but it's about you putting on the dirt to make others happy.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I've started learning a new term called cautiously optimistic. I do not know what it means, but people always tell me there is the new term of cautiously optimistic. Thank you again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll take not more than a minute for you guys to just for me to quickly recap so that you have an idea of what Parinama Academy is, what are the things we are trying, and then wrap it up with the PVSA award, and then asking the special guest here to actually release the book. I have never released a book, so I do not know what releasing a book means, but we'll try some things. We'll see how that goes. But let me just quickly talk about what Parinama Academy is. We started in 2016. We have a long way to go. We are in 2024. We started off with chess. Chess is our favorite. We always thought that's the easy way to get in. Everyone has a story when they come up with the garage story. Ours is always a Starbucks story. Went to Starbucks all the time, had some kids there. We started teaching there slowly and steadily. We started incorporating into an LLC. Then we went to the school districts, got the school districts approval, which was a very big thing for us. We are approved in Round Rock ISD, Leander ISD, and then we are working with other ISDs as well. That means that our teachers have to be fingerprinted, background checked, and we have to go through all the red tapes, which we have effectively done, which also provides us credibility to go into the school districts, and we take care of the kids, which means that at around 2:45, the kids come to us, and we are responsible for the kids from 2:45 to 4 p.m. And even on the summer camps, we go and work with them. So that the most precious thing that you have on earth is your kid. And if people are relying us to take care of the kid, obviously we want to make sure the kids feel secure, and then we also provide the education. Then we really, our slides always used to, at this time I was too naive because my thing was, we want your kid to be smarter than your neighbor's kid. That used to be my caption. Nobody liked that caption, but I liked it. I had to defend it because I always used to joke saying, Jesus Christ said that the greatest thing is to love their neighbor, because Jesus himself used that nobody likes the neighbor to be smarter than them. It was all something that I tried. But then we toned down, and then we still went into competitive angle. All our flyers, all our banners used to say train, compete, win. We always wanted to win. And you have been one of our very first customers. So you have seen all our flyers only talk about competition, tournaments, everything that is about winning. And then we slowly turned down to learn, create, and compete. So where now we went into a learning and then a creation aspect. So we started going into the creative side, and creative side is what you are seeing today as well. We just didn't want to be a competition prep. We used to be spelling bee, GOB, math bee, science bee, brain bee, history bee. We were only focusing on the competitions. Then we wanted to go into from competition, which is 2018. By 2019, we got approval from Gavel Club, which is from Toastmasters International, to start teaching for public speaking, because Seinfeld keeps joking the same thing, saying that the greatest fear somebody has is to deliver the eulogy. They would rather be in the coffin, right? Nobody wants to have a public speaking because you don't want to be publicly embarrassed by people, but you still have to know how to speak in public. That's a very, very important skill, even if you talk for a few minutes. Then 2020, most of you might remember that we all got this virus and all the fun stuff. So we had to not just use the virtual unit, but also use the unit to become a hybrid unit. We all learned how to live with COVID. We all know how to put a box outside, send homeworks, collect homeworks, touch the kids, don't touch the kids, put the mask, or give the same parents who did not want any screen time, where they're now ready to do taekwondo and everything online. So we learned that we have to live with technology, and we also had to tone down on technology. So we have to have a balance between the two. So it was a good experience for us. Then we started venturing into our adult classes, which means that we started doing Salesforce. Thanks to Srini and his team, they were helping us launch AWS and other courses. So we did a lot of courses, which we plan to do again. Then we started getting approvals from Math Olympiad and Math Kangaroo. These are organizations that allow us to do the competitions. And once the Math Kangaroo competitions we were able to host in, then we are now an approved agency for that. Then 2023, we became a strategic partner with Lead India Foundation for Education. Srini here is one of the co-founders, founders, presidents, whatever you want to call it, of Lead India Foundation. And he has been working very closely with us. And that has been a very, very big achievement for us because we collaborate very closely with Lead India Foundation. Now we will go to the Presidential Volunteer Service Award. We want to give out the awards, but I also see our friends are here, are your parents here. They can come in. Omkar, they can come in. We can then start giving some awards. So what we are going to do is we are going to give away the awards, and after we give the awards, then we are also going to do the book release. Then we are all going to have some cookies and we can all eat. So I would invite a couple of folks here. So once they come in, can I take a seat? Yeah. So we are one of the organizations that allow kids to actually work with us, and we document all of this and send it to the president's office. We have been told very clearly not to ever say that we are associated with White House or president. So we have to be very careful on how we explain this. So there is an organization called AmeriCorps, which is responsible for auditing. So we conduct all of the audits, and then we package them, and then we send them to AmeriCorps. And AmeriCorps then works with White House. They then get the White House to award this based on some of the activities. There are some key things that people forget. This is from President of United States, which is the executive branch, which means it is not for people who are not US citizens or not US green card holders. So if we deal with a lot of people from different backgrounds, we want them to realize that this is a very specific, only for the US citizens and US residents. So we have kids who come in, they work with us for a long time, and then they finally figure out, because of their immigration status, that they are not allowed to be given this award, because this is not our restriction. It comes from the president's office itself. So the way it works, it's all about the hours. So the one that you are seeing here, if this is the Congressional Award, we are also trying to talk about the Congressional Award here. Most of you might know how the Presidential Award works. You can always Google for it in terms of hours. You guys have already completed. Typically, we want the kids to get up to 4 different PVSA awards. 4 awards means 4 gold, 4 silver, doesn't matter. So when the kids go to college, when we finish the application, we try to say between 8th grade to 11th grade, because technically 11th grade and the whole high school completes. So at that time, we are packaging all the application, finishing between August and November. By November 15th to November 30th, you are done with all your applications. So by December to March, you get all the results back. So the kids, we want them to start at 8th or 8th grade. They're not much productive in 7th grade. So we see that more as, we have some exceptions to the rule, but normally 8th grade is when kids are a little bit productive. 9th grade is better. So typically we take the kids only from 9th grade. Sometimes we take them at 8th grade. Very few times we take them at 7th grade. So that is the big difference between the three in terms of how we take the kids in. But once they come in, then we start working with them on different activities. Once they finish the 4 PVSA awards, or in our case, once they do 1 or 2 PVSA awards, then the kids are given an opportunity to work on the Congressional Award. For the Congressional Award, the way it works is Congress is worried about 4 things. And Congressional Award can only be done through a non-profit. That is why we are strategic partner with Lead India Foundation. All of this is not sent through Parinama, it's sent through Lead India Foundation. And what we do is we package it based on these 4 criteria. Congress first wants to know if you are able to do voluntary public service, which is exactly what we talked about, like doing events like these, doing workshops, writing content, doing YouTube videos. All of this is considered serving the society. So that's one thing that it's called VPS, voluntary public service. Second thing is Congress is also worried about your personal development. Are you able to commit to yourself and do something? For example, can you say, I will read 3 books? Can you say, I will help my younger sister, I won't pinch my sister, or I will do something for the society? Like, what is it? I will read, I will learn how to cook 3 things. It doesn't matter what you commit. Are you able to make a commitment, and are you able to deliver? We track that. We don't force what the commitment is, but we try to track your commitment. And then physical fitness. Congress is very worried about your physical fitness. I think they don't want to pay a lot of Medicare and Medicaid. So they want to make sure that you are very fit. So they want to see if you are doing activities that are helping you to be physically fit. Again, we track that by asking you questions like, are you in a dance? Are you in soccer? Are you? Can you go for a walk every day? So anything that helps you to be physically fit. The last thing is exploration and expedition. This is more about spatial orientation. A lot of people struggle with that. When I ask people saying, where is Parkside? Where is Bar W Ranch? Where is Leander High School? You should know. At least you should have an idea of where you are and the extra things that are there. So exploration and expedition is, they want you to, if you have money, you can definitely travel to a new country like Canada, or go to Korea or whatever. That's okay. That is part of how you can. But even when you go to like a Bob Bullock museum, or even if you go into the society, can you spend a day or two to understand what things are? Where are things placed? Where is the library? Where? So they want you to do that. And they have 6 levels. They start with the bronze certificate. They go all the way to a gold certificate, a gold medal. So you have to go through 3 certificates, and it takes about 4 years for us to get that. The maximum we have been able to get is a silver medal, because we are too new. Lead India Foundation recently, about a year and a half or 2 ago, is when we started to work on all of this together. So we have not been able to go beyond silver yet, but we know the audit process are very rigorous, and they come up with a lot of queries, more than PVSA. So that means that we need like video proof. Meghna is one of the recipient of the silver certificate. She had a lot of questions as well on. These kind of books are proofs that she's contributing to the society. YouTube channel, they were able to accept it as because not everything has to be done physically, right? The world has changed. Not every time you have to come and do an event. You can always do a podcast or a video at home and send it into a platform. And if it helps society, we can then document it and send it back. So again, be very careful that this is not for non-US citizens or non-US green card holders. You must be a citizen or a green card holder. Only then you'll be able to apply for a congressional award. And also, Parinama Academy is not qualified to issue or work with this. We do facilitate it. Lead India Foundation is a sister organization. That means they can use the facility anytime. They can cooperate with us. They can use our YouTube channel. They can use any of our resources. But it will be through a different set of team. It cannot coexist with the Parinama team. With that said, what I'm going to do is going to make sure we have this award given. To also be here, so you can take some pictures. Yeah. So you can come with us. So we will take ladies first. So Alakia. She's you can turn. So I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to read something before I give it next. So just so you know what is in this package, right? So you should see there are 2 things that come in the package. The first thing is a letter that correctly comes from the president. In this case, it's from Joe Biden. Previously, it was from Trump. And before that, it was Obama. Next, we don't know. But whoever becomes one, they get to sign here. So we don't care about any of the politics. We care about whose signature is there. As long as it says White House, we are happy with seeing that on the top. Second thing that we are proud about is this, the certificate that comes. Right? The certificate gives the specific name for the person, what they got, and this is the kind of documentation that you need. So this is directly from the White House. So obviously you have that emblem and everything coming in. And I like their wording and choice. One of the things that they talk about is by sharing your time and passion, you are helping discover and deliver solution in the challenges we face, solution that we need now more than ever. So this is a statement I really believe that the new age, like a lot of kids, like I talk about with ChatGPT about internet, about phones, we should not be afraid of them. We should not deprive the kids of these tools. they should know how to coexist, because tell them not to use these tools, it will be very difficult on them. I see a lot of parents telling that I don't want screen time for my kid. I don't want my kid to learn ChatGPT. I got premium version for my own kids to make sure they have ChatGPT. Get the right one, teach them, and tell them not to cheat. Right? Obviously, you should teach them how to use this. So these are days where this generation is fun. They have to generate content, give people, so that we can definitely deliver. So I'm going to give this, so you can call Rishik. Rishik, you can come over. Okay, you can take a seat. So I'm going to give a choice to both Alakya and Rishik. If you want to take a minute to talk, you can. If you feel embarrassed not to talk, I won't put you on the spot. So any of you want to talk for a minute? If not, okay. If not, I will tell my observations, because then I get to say whatever I have to say. So just to make sure, Alakya has been here for a very long time. So most of the people that have started here, they started as our own students. Okay, and then they became our volunteers, then they became our interns, then they became our teachers, then they call and just come back, because we always want people to come back. We want to maintain the relationship. We don't want to be transactional. We know that her sister was with us. We know that it's a family business. So I always say I support nepotism. I like Alia, but I like Hrithik Roshan. So it's always making sure that when we have family, we know whom we are dealing with. Obviously, we want them to come and work with us together. So it's very good that we were able to see her contribute. Most of her work was during the summer camp. She worked with the kids and also on the operational side, managing the front desk and working with the kids, working on curriculum, working on printouts, a lot of things that are now, I think they will have a greater appreciation. As I said, when they go to school, they just don't teach us. When they see a teacher, they know how much of work happens behind the scene. When you write a test, when a homework is given, it's a very, very difficult thing for the teacher. Now I'll move to Rishik. Rishik has been working with us for about a year now, or 9 months now. Do you remember? Kind of. And Round Rock, he has been helping a lot of kids there with the chess program. He has been coming very regularly on Fridays, helping Dr. Arif, and now with Bhumika and others that have been on the site. It also gives him a different perspective on how to work with kids. I think a lot of us, when we always have a better appreciation for boys than girls, in the sense that we always know girls have an innate aptitude to be more motherly and more caring in that sense. For boys, it's always a new challenge. They have never worked in that perspective. It's a very different experience for them. And definitely he was able to work on that. So it was really good experience there. So I definitely appreciate that. So now I'd like to call upon our special guests, so we can over our books, we can move here. Thank you both for coming. So I want you to present the first copy to, you can